Welcome everyone. So the purpose of this special workshop is to give you guys an overview of the foundation skills that are going to be moving forward into beginning. So it's going to be kind of overwhelming with information, but what the point is to make the videos that you see make more sense. So I'm going to be covering a lot of stuff. We're going to be starting with our dogs. Do you need a crate turned sideways? Yeah, okay, because we're going to be starting just with the handlers out in the field, going through all the mechanics before our dogs have to cope with our imperfections. And it'll also introduce you all to what we're doing so that we don't have to take that time with each team to go through the A through Z of each exercise. There's 4 basic setups that we're going to be working with our dogs, and Dawn is going to be working on 2 of those setups, and I'll be working on the other 2 so that you're going to have lots of time on the field once we bring our dogs out. So, and how many of your dogs are fine off leash? They stay with you, doesn't cause you stress? Yes? Okay, so I'm going to show you some leash handling skills. If it's going to cause you stress to have your dog off leash, your dog's going to feel that stress, so you can have your dog on leash as a backup if that helps you feel relaxed. And how many of these dogs, if a dog were to run up to them, would be deeply offended? Any? Okay, so you all know you're relatively safe if more than one dog is off at a time. Okay, so why don't just handlers come out, and I'm going to take you through the mechanical skills we're going to be going through today. So I'll describe it first. Each one of you is going to have a cone that is actually your dog's mouth. Envision this is your dog's nose right there. And the purpose of this specific technique is to provide clarity to your dog. So your dog knows when food is coming, when food is not coming. This helps when you start running agility. You can have a toy in your hand, you can have food in your hand. The dog is not going to be watching your hand because your dog knows it's not coming now, it's coming later. If you're vague about how you deliver food, the dog's going to be watching your hand going now, now, now. So this is the point of this. So this is what I call if my dog's in front of me, this is the my food position. And some people found it useful to say my food, your food. So my dog is here. If my dog is reaching for the food, I'm going to pause. In any type of settling away from the food, I'm going to say the food is coming word, which for me is yes. And then the hand goes into what I call ape hand position. So this wrist rotation looks very simple, and it is kind of in front position. But if your dog never gets the food like this, your dog quickly learns that this means wait. And your dog, what you're doing is you're creating a pause where your dog has eager anticipation. It's kind of like when a waiter comes over with your glass of wine in a restaurant. Eager anticipation, right? Which actually floods your brain with the happy chemicals more than the wine itself, studies have shown. So you are flooding your dog's brain with happy chemicals by being clear that the wine is coming but not yet, okay? So this is my food, yes, your food. My food, yes, your food. And this allows you also, because you're an ape hand, allows you to move into heel position with your dog while feeding and go back into my food. In heel position, your hand's going to be at your hip. So back to my food. When I say yes, your food, down the seam.
Some call that Zen hand.
Oh, that's okay. So yes, fantastic. Zen hand it is. That sounds cool. Okay, so my food, yes, your food. Again, your dog is not going to be staring at your hand because of this. My food, yes, your food. And notice how you can come right back to front. Then you're going to work it on both sides. My food, yes, your food. Go into heel position. You're going to be standing up straight. Your dog's going to see this picture of you in heel position. My food, yes, your food. And go in. So this is one of the exercises we're going to be practicing. You can do it at home without your dog until it feels very natural, so you don't have to think about it. Let's see. And this is going to come into play when we do the S-Curve X-Pen healing, which is not about healing. You're going to get good healing out of it, but it's about a dog staying connected, a dog being clear about food is coming, food is not coming, and it leads to a fun game called circle work, which teaches your dog high-speed healing that is very much a part of agility. So we'll get to that. Let's see. How many of your dogs have, if I had my dog here and I said mark, how many of them would go to the mark from this distance? Yay, yay, yay. How many of them would stay at the mark while you gave your dog some food and you stepped back and you stepped around? How many of them would stay?
Is it okay to say stay?
You know, it is fine at the beginning stage, like if it gets you the behavior, but they should like mark as like sit, you know, that you don't usually have to say stay, but let's say your dog, you can just say stay that first time and then try rotating around and they should stay just because it's like sit. It's kind of a stationary behavior. So you guys, okay, we're gonna have fun working with you because that's fantastic. And the mark training is again not about all this bucket skill work, but it teaches a lot of really important things to dogs about agility. It teaches them how to weight shift back, which is important for contacts, for jumping. It teaches them how to load. It teaches them forward focus, that you can use it in place of a toy. Many things, many advantages. So let's see. Okay, let's move into this field. And I'm going to show you 2 exercises here. Okay, so this setup creates a channel for the dog to be in that keeps them from making some heeling mistakes, so that the only thing the dog has to worry about is not foraging and not lagging versus swinging wide, going wide, all of that. And you're going to do that. This is the My Food's going to stay to your hip. You're going to, if your dog knows how to heel, you can say with me, let him know that's what you're doing. And when you're going to feed your dog here, there's a tendency if the dog forages to want to reach and meet the dog's mouth. The advantage of touching your hip is you've got a tactile experience that says feed the dog here and your dog's going to start coming back. So you're going to be feeding your dog as often as you feel your dog needs to be rewarded for something new, right? So if your dog needs it every 2 steps, do it. If your dog, this is not a big challenge, you know, go ahead and keep your hand here. Yes, and down. And in this scenario, you don't actually have to say the food is coming word. This actually becomes a word, a trigger, but it is good practice if you want to get your timing that is yes, then the hand turns versus yes. You don't want to do that together. So if you want to practice that, feel free. So here you've got a straight line by the gap. This is just testing the dog. You can speed up a little. Again, your hand stays in My Food. Yes, your food. When you hit one of these cones the very first time, go ahead and let your dog nibble or lick the food. And what you want to watch is that you're giving your dog enough space around this cone, like you don't want to cut them off, right? So you're going to be watching the spacing, feed, 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 and what your dog is doing as a result of staying in heel position because of your fantastic food placement, your dog is going to be pivoting his rear around to stay aligned. So they're learning an important skill for rear end awareness, and you're also reinforcing heel position. But the thing that is probably more important about this than anything is the connection that the dog is feeling to the handler and the consistency of rewards. And the second benefit is to the handler, where you are learning to stay on the path you want to be on while staying connected to your dog. And this is part of agility. Like, you need to be able to run a course while not staring at the course. You need to maintain a connection and awareness of where you are in space. So this is fantastic for that, especially once you start picking up speed. You'll notice you have a tendency to crowd your dog or you start going wide. It's just a great handler technique for learning those skills. The other thing, this is a great warm-up for dogs that tend to lose focus if they go off and sniff or get over aroused, whatever. It's a great way to warm up your dog at the beginning of any agility class. The other thing you'll make a note of is how you are when you're in this intimate exercise with your dog, how your tone is, how you feel, because that you can use in agility. When you reach a point on a course where you want your dog out of obstacle focus and into handler focus, this is the type of energy and tone that you will evoke with your dog. It comes natural to you. What you do here, you will use it on the field intentionally. So in contrast, we've got to go in the other field. I'm going to show you in a second. When you go into obstacle focus, we're going to set another energy into motion where our dogs will recognize like a higher intentionality. We are going that way. You look and see what's ahead of you. So you're going to become aware of how you naturally go into obstacle focus so that you can intentionally do it when you want your dog to drive ahead versus looking at you going, where are we going, where are we going? So this is energetically good practice for handlers. So this skill, how many of your dogs have gone through an open channel of weave poles? One? Okay. So one of the side benefits of this is your dogs are getting exposed to a weave pole channel, but this, for the handler, it's an opportunity to practice consistent connected lead outs, because every rep in, most reps in all agility courses necessitate some type of lead out. So like that, you're going to have to learn how to move forward while connecting to your dog versus staring forward. So,
I don't know what a lead out is.
oh, thank you. Well, a lead out is you leave your dog in a sit stay or a down stay, and you lead out to a point on course so that you release your dog so you're in a good position to be able to show your dog the course.
So Deb's the dog.
I see that there's a yellow, a pole at the very end, so I can kind of watch that in peripheral. And now I keep my face in see how my open chest is happening? And if I need to glance forward, it's my eyeballs. I'm not doing this. This is a skill like any other skill. If you master it, it just helps your dog in high arousal, highly distracting environments know what to count on from you saying, hey, we're connected even though you are running out. So see how I can do that now? All of a sudden this appears. You're gonna come to the front, you're gonna stand straight, and you are gonna call your dog, say come or your dog's name without anything like this. Not come, not come, not come, none of that. You're gonna say dog's name or come. Then once your dog is moving, you can come in and welcome your dog into your hands if your dog likes that kind of interaction. And then you're gonna reward your dog, and you're gonna just practice that stepping into heel position using the hand motion we did. Depending on if your dog is ready for it, we'll be working both sides. You'll be calling your dog into heel position. Again, doing that if your dog is ready, if they're confident. So again, like all these setups, there are so many different things that you're getting. The dog is getting experience with its first exposure to weave channels. You're getting lead out experience. You're getting practice on that while your dog is with you. And after you've now done something, which you're going to find it all of a sudden more complicated. So we are kind of adding, skills to you one at a time, just like we do with our dogs, right? We don't start with everything saying, hey, run this course and do the handling and do this and do that. So we are splitting for people as well as dogs. Okay.
Anytime we say something that sounds like jargon, you don't know what it is, just stop it.
Yeah. Okay. So those two exercises had a handler focus component, right? So this is now we're going into that obstacle focus, which is what I was talking about. So when I want my dog to go ahead of me and to take what's in front of him, I take on the energy and intentionality of we are going. And this is what I use when my dogs have to go into the vet and they don't want to leave with the person. I tell the vet tech, just say we are going and walk with authority. And by gosh, my dogs will go from like going, don't let them take me, to we are going, and they'll go and they won't even look back over their shoulders. So the dogs read our energy, right? That's how they became domesticated. The ones that became domesticated are the ones that were really good at reading which person was going to kick them and which person was going to throw them a scrap. So our dogs know what we are energetically being like, and they will follow. So if your dog will stay on a mark, you can start them there, and you're going to release them with your release word, and it's not going to look like okay. It's not going to look like okay. It's going to be okay, and you're going to walk. Nice pace, and your dog's gonna go there. Have any of your dogs not been on a teeter board? Have not? Have not. Okay, yes, have. Have not. So maybe we should put this just teeter board for the first rep. We can try them and see what they think of this. This has a funny toenail sound, but most dogs get used to it pretty quick. So we're gonna, you know what? I'm gonna set up some purple boards to make I'm going to set up something that will make it easier for them. Yeah, so maybe 3 purple boards. So we'll change that a little bit. I had assumed you'd been on this. So again, you're going to take note. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. Why are the buckets on either end? Like, they're not supposed supposed to stop and mark there, right?
Yes,
Oh, they are.
yeah. That if your dogs, do you think your dog will not stop? Or,
Yeah, he'd probably just plow right through it.
okay.
So
Wait, okay, what contact experiences your dog has on real contacts?
um,
None.
yeah, in puppy.
Yeah, okay. So no dogs have been running over contacts yet, right?
No, I don't know the term contact.
Those boards that.
Rio did in your class.
Okay.
You taught.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of where we're going from there. So no, your dog hasn't run over the dog walker, or the A-frame, or anything, right? He has. And what's his end behavior at the end?
She would leap off when she came to the yellow, the last 3 feet or whatever, she'd leap off.
Okay. So you were trying to train a running contact, and he was leaping off.
It was part of the little course we would do in the agility class with Karen.
And he was okay. So he was leaping off.
She'd get to that last few feet and then she'd
Yeah. That's, you know what?
We're gonna fix that.
Aussies
Looks good.
Aussies are very bouncy, right? They're great at that. So I'm going to modify this setup here where they're just going to be walking on and off. I'm not going to have them stop at the ends, and we're going to do it. We're going to do an earlier version of this in that you missed by not being in the foundations.
Purple every other, or do you want them all together?
We're going to take out the two middle marks and put the purple ones various distances apart, so this much, and then basically we're going to send your dogs to go to that mark at the end, and they're going to be going on and off these planks, and because they're going to want to watch the planks so they don't trip, they're going to be forward focusing. So again, the setup's going to help them be successful. So yeah, good. Okay, good. Closer. Thank you. Okay.
So when you said we're going, your demonstration was walking straight through, but actually we're going to be stopping at each mark.
You know, we are not, based on where everybody's at, that you're going to be stopping at the ends. So thank you for bringing that up. Somehow I had assumed that contacts were part of an earlier class. So okay, so this is super fun, and wait till you see how your dogs look forward. It's like the perfect setup to teach what we want when we want our dogs in obstacle focus. Okay.
We're not running it, we're just walking.
You'll be walking at a brisk pace because we want our dogs, if they've never seen that, they'll be kind of like a slow trotting, and they're going to be going, what the heck is this noise? And if the dog chooses to go back off, we keep on going, and the dog should catch up again and come on.
And we don't reward with food until the end?
Correct. They're just going to move through. Let me just go over the leash handling skill. Does anybody have a leash I can use?
Oh, I can get mine. It's right
Okay.
in the shed.
Okay. If your dog is comfortable off leash, you know, and you are comfortable, right? You don't get nervous. If you get nervous, keep them on leash because there's no need to be nervous. And I've had dogs that I don't trust off leash, and trust me, that's not an effective way of trailing. Okay. So if this is my dog, the leash handling skills, you know how when you walk your dog, you keep your extra leash in your offside hand and you've got your onside hand. This is really what's holding the dog. You're basically going to keep your offside hand the same and just drop the inside hand. So this is now your backup plan. You're not pulling your dog. If your dog starts going ahead of you to that mark, you're going to go ahead and release, like you don't want to be grabbing the leash. This is just how to stay calm, you know, with your dog. So again, so this hand is doing everything. If your dog tends to forage a lot, just in life, you can do the same thing behind you so that when they pull ahead, it's catching it right in the butt, which gives you a good pulse-like a response, so they don't even feel that you're pulling, they feel like they're pulling. So instead of yanking the dog and they're like, what are you pulling? That just is, there's resistance. When they forge ahead, resistance dissipates. So if you're going to have the leash on, it's a very simple thing. This hand, just keep it next to your hip, and it won't interfere too much with your brain capacity to think about something else. Okay, so the one other exercise here. I'm going to have, I just got to grab a mark bucket. 1 second. Okay. So these 4 cones are just set up to create 4 stations for you to just warm up your feeding technique. So you're going to hand off your dog to me. Yeah, sorry. I can't talk and set at the same moment. Okay. So you're going to hand the dog off to me. I'm going to make very little interaction unless I need to just get him to feel comfortable. And basically what we're looking for is you're going to call your dog, and we're looking for them to just take the initiative to come to you, right? So they're going to go, oh, there's a fence here. And I'm going to have a loose leash. Your dog is going to offer to wrap this cone, and you're going to meet him here. So here's what you're going to be doing. Your dog is there. You're going to be, how would you tell me if I were a human that you want me to go around that cone? You'd probably like walk in this direction, like kind of show me this cone, right? Imagine that just being a person. You know, call the dog, come. As soon as the dog is committed, you, with your food in your offside hand, you're going to say, good dog, right? When they're committed, and you're going to meet them here at the mark.
You want me to be your dog?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that will be better. Okay, good. Yeah. Done. Good. Yeah, super. And you can meet your dog you can meet him, like my tendency was I wanted to provide food right away. Okay, see, you didn't do that. So, and you're not gonna babysit more than you need to. If your dog, most dogs will just go, I know how to get to you. You'll see the light bulb and they'll do it. If the first time your dog, you need to come a little bit more like this, good boy, and come in and meet him here. But most dogs will just go, I know how to get to you, and they shoot around the cone. So again, we're making the dog's job super simple while you're being introduced to what is called a front cross, which for some reason is really hard to learn when you're thinking about doing a front cross, but they're easy to perform when you're just doing what we're doing. So dog side, the offside hand will have the food. You say, come, pop, whatever you're gonna say, and you're just gonna meet them there. So it's a great introduction for you to do front crosses, and dogs love doing stuff like this. So we're rewarding our dogs for taking initiative, right? That's what we want our dogs to do, to figure things out on their own. So these are gonna be super fun for the dogs, and if you have any questions about what I've covered, ask them. Otherwise, we will go get our dogs and start working the 4 cones and practicing some of the stuff we talked about. Any questions? No. Okay, so everybody grab a dog and come to one of these cones, and we're going to work on that, feeding your dog like their mouth is at the top of the cone. And we'll just, Dawn, we'll just.
I'm just going to spread them out a bit.
Okay.
What should we be doing?
You can coach people
Okay.
since you know this, right?
Yeah, that
Or you're welcome to, do you need to practice this? No.
No, I may walk through that maze over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So here's number 4.
And I have an extra dog. I'm going to have a dog and do this stuff.
I don't think so. Yeah. Do you think? I don't think so. We're going to get after they do all this before, oh wait, I was going to do the demo of the mark training. Okay. You know what? I didn't do it in order.
Big deal.
Yep, I was going to bring to show out the mark training now, but let's see how this goes. Okay, so pick a cone. Yep, everybody, there's a cone there. And think about how you act with your dog in the kitchen. Be that way when you train your dog for agility, right? Don't change and be stiff and self-conscious, because really self-consciousness is a way of disconnecting from the dog. So talk the way you normally do to your dog, relax, and they will appreciate that it's the same person they know versus this other weird person has shown up all of a sudden who's acting stiff and only saying yes and not talking to me at all. So, good. Oh wait, do we need the cones for the dogs?
Well, it gives everyone a station.
Okay, true. Okay, so let me think this through. They weren't, you know what?
You wanted them to practice without the
Without the dogs. I screwed up, guys. Sorry. I'd intended you to practice without the dogs. Okay, we're going to change of plans just to make this make sense. Let's get you on the mark bucket first. We'll do the mark thing, put the dogs away. I'm sorry. I just jumped ahead of myself by not reading my notes.
What do you need?
Let's get two more mark buckets.
Okay. You want these two
Yeah.
and two more.
Yeah, see, or should I just, yeah, sorry guys, I jumped ahead 2 steps. So use that mark bucket. We're gonna do the basic mark training. Yep. Okay, mark bucket. And we can use that mark bucket, yeah. Yeah. Somehow I looked at this, I'm like, wait a minute, what's this about? Little brain moment there. Okay. So just, yeah, work your dogs on the marks. Good. Perfect. Good. And you can try feeding her while you're moving into heel position
Okay.
and see if that keeps her from pivoting. So you'll be like, so if I'm moving on that side, I'm going to say, yes, feed while I move all the way into heel position.
Okay.
Stand up and move all the way in.
Oreo, Mark. Oh, did you get snow? Okay, Oreo, Mark. Yes. Good dog. I should have said yes when you were on the thing. and
Perfect,
you were
right?
coming towards
Second
me.
foot hits is when you want to say yes. Good awareness. So you can go ahead and like start feeding her. Would she take food from me so I can show you what I
she
mean?
totally will.
Okay, so
Oops, I dropped a piece of cheese.
yep. So you got some crumblies here, just so you know. So yes. Whoops, sorry, wrong leg. But yes. Good. Yes. Give me one more. I'll show you how I rotate back in.
I
See how you can actually move?
Right. It's like your hand is in her mouth while you're rotating.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So to be a little bit quicker versus you feel a little creeping, like, so you can be like, you can, yes, feed, and then just walk like normally into heel position, feed, walk normally again.
Okay.
So front, you go the front, super, feed again.
Feeder here.
So you'll switch to your other hand and heel position on the other side. Yep, okay, good. Will she take food from me if I show you?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so here's what it's gonna look like. Mark, super. Yes. Good. Can you give me another piece of food? Yes. See how you can kind of do that? And then whatever direction you're moving, give me one more piece. Whatever direction you're moving is the hand that you're gonna have the food in. So this time I'm going that way, so this is the hand. Yes. See how I can rotate just around like that? And she was nibbling the food? Yes. She looked at me, so I come back around. So you're learning just a mechanical skill that away from what we're gonna be doing when we add the lead out to it. So
So it's yes and then your hand moves. Okay. Because
nice. So just think about the mechanics of how you're switching your hand. So see how you're switching your hand while you're moving? So you want to say yes, switch the hand, then move. So this is that detail that you're not doing handler motion.
Yes. Oh. Yes. Oh.
Okay, so let me show you again. No, you know it is simple, but it's not easy until you figure it out. So it's going to be yes. Yes. So it's yes, switch, turn. So yes. Yes. 3 steps. So the word yes. Whoops, sorry, I didn't do it. Sorry. See, it's hard. Yes, switch, turn. So the yes means the hand's about to turn. When the hand's turned, you can be walking. So there's 3 separate things happening. And when you see the videos, it will then make sense what you're seeing on the videos because you're realizing how it's a little bit fuzzy to do out here, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. But one,
Have to do it.
right. But once you practice it as 1, 2, 3, this will become second nature. So that's what you're learning is a simple skill before you're mixing it in with handler motion. Okay. So instead of starting the moving, why don't you just do the first part? Why don't you go, yes, feed.
Yes.
Nice, good.
Yes.
So if you're going to put your hand that close to her, you don't want to give her yes when she's nibbling, right? You
Oh.
you want to keep your hand here, yes, and then go down.
Yes.
Perfect. That was perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Excellent.
Yes.
Perfect. So try that on the other side. Okay, good. So let's see one repetition. Okay, so see how you're pulling her off? So you want to deliver the food to your dog where she's not leaning in for it.
Okay.
So the food delivery comes to your dog versus wanting your dog to come to your hand. And let her get that treat, yeah. So here, will she take food from me?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Yes. Yeah, see how you can even do that?
Okay, got it.
Yes. So I'm coming back to her. Yes. Super. She's doing great. Yes. So I'm and you'll know that you are doing this by see how she's leaning forward?
Yeah.
So you'll know that by watching your dog. You want to feed her where she's solidly standing on the mark.
Okay.
And if you want to even go behind her, you can be feeding like this.
All right.
Will he let you go behind?
Yeah, she's been doing
Great.
that a little bit.
Great. So yep, if you need to start by feeding while you're stepping behind. And even crossing behind like rear cross like, that's beautiful.
Big, beautiful head.
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
There's a new person in the parking lot with a dog. That's very, very border collie like.
Yes, she's always patrolling the
Yeah, good. So you can get punchier because, it can be, will he take food from me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Slimy hot dogs.
Yeah.
You're okay with that?
Yes. Yes. You can be like that with him.
Okay.
And that's more like energetic
Uh-huh.
and it will test him a little bit. So he's a little bit concerned about like that was a little bit weird for him, right?
Uh-huh.
Mark? Yes. So let him get used to,
Neo.
let him get used to you being more energetic because when you're doing agility,
Yeah, yeah.
you're going to look more like, whoops, get it, that's okay. You're going to look more like that than slow
Right,
jazz.
right.
You're going to look like, so be energetic because that's going to rev him up and now you're going to be really working on does he understand stay in the agility mindset.
Right, right.
Because he's got it down with like we're, nap time.
Yeah, yeah.
So in what I meant by walking, you could be feeding him and stepping on this side so he's reading that rear cross kind of stuff too. Okay. Okay. Okay, so send her to the mark. Just, I want to hear your reward. Send her to the mark, second foot hits, you say, good dog, or whatever. Good. So your hand met her at the same time, so that was a lure. That's okay.
quiet. Yes. Good girl. Mark. Yes.
Perfect. Yep. So you need to separate your yes from the food is coming so she doesn't, when you say, you don't want her watching your hand.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Does she know touch?
She does
Ask
know
her for
touch.
touch. Touch. I mean, she's on her bucket now.
Okay.
And you gave her, the marker.
What she's going to be seeing and feeling from you versus like when we want our dogs to be successful, we start playing it safe and then we're basically not showing them the end picture. So we want to go, does my dog know? Yes. Does my dog know that? If they don't, then you'll just start getting punchier. So this gentle library stuff is fine to begin with, but you want to keep moving forward. Okay, good. Let me get my notes again. Oh, here they are. Okay.
There, nice.
Good. Good.
Very nice.
That's excellent. That's great energy. So that was too fast for him. So this next time, go a little bit slower and stay connected to him. Like in a, this isn't obstacle focus as much as it's handler. You want to try it one more. So lead out a little bit so you're ahead of him. Okay, good. Now tell him, Mark.
Yes.
Okay. So over time, the way you can add that handler motion ahead, since he's so good with everything else, is, release him, and you're just gonna, as you move forward, you can just pop a treat back. But very good. Okay. Good. So let's see you do the heel position feeding, the my food, your food, in heel position. Good. Good. Nice. Good. Okay. Okay, so if your dogs need to go out and yeah. If your dogs need to go for a potty or a decompression, quick walk, take them out, and then we'll be doing one team with Dawn, one team with me. We'll be going through the exercises.
All right.
Excellent.
Which one do you want me to start with out there?
I would do the S curve,
Okay.
just because that's the handler focus. Okay, you can take a little break now. Thank you for doing that.